So you want to grow your business. You've got an option. You can either borrow money from the bank or you can get a private investor and give up a slice of your company, Dragon's Den style. Well, in this video, we're going to share my ideas on equity vs debt for growing your business. So the best way to find my opinion on this subject is to make sure that you massage the like button underneath this video and to subscribe to the James Sinclair YouTube channel. Those two things will definitely make you younger, sexier and fitter. That's also a lie, but you know, I like to think so. Let's talk about equity vs debt. Look, my LinkedIn messages, Instagram messages, YouTube comments, it comes up all the time. People are asking me, James, where do I find a private investor into growing my business? Well, first of all, to find a private investor growing your business, make sure you're trading before you ask, and make sure you have some degree of success around you, no matter how small, because I think banks and equity to invest in your business, they want to see something happen, whether it's just generating some sales, getting some cash in the bank. The worst possible position you could ever find yourself is using cash, other people's money, whether it's the banks or equity, before you've actually generated any sales. So before you look to borrow money or to get investment in a business, you got to get some sales in the bag. It's a terrible idea to go and try and sell an idea. That's been done before. Plenty of people have done it, but I'm telling you now, it's going to be much easier if you can prove some success in terms of sales into your business. Now, but what about when you do have some success and you are seeing your business growing and you're doing this thing called over trading, i.e. using the cash flow that your business is generating to grow the business rather than funding it properly? What do I mean there? So say you start a business and in its first year generates £1 million worth of turnover, and say you're a restaurant and you want to go and open another restaurant. You use the cash flow that you're generating in the business to go and set up that other restaurant before you can properly afford it. It's what all entrepreneurs do. They use the cash flow in their business to grow their business, and at a point you'll start bursting, you'll start worrying, you start not paying yourself, you start being late on suppliers, you start borrowing high interest rate money, using credit cards, all these things that entrepreneurs have done to grow businesses. Now, there's going to come a point where you need to actually get proper funding into the business. Let's have a look at the massive pros now of equity. So you've got 100% ownership of your business, you've got £1 million worth of turnover, a private equity investment company, a venture capitalist or an angel investor comes along and says, I will buy 40% of your business. Now, what's the good news about that is you might take some money off the table, or you take some money and put it into your business. Now, either one of those two things can happen, or a bit of both. So they're putting cash into the business that you haven't got to pay repayments on. And so that's great. You've now got cash in the business and everything's brilliant. You could also, from those people, get amazing advice, which is sometimes way better than the cash that they put into the business. You know, when people go on Dragon's Den and, you know, all these Shark Tank programs, and they're giving up a slice of the company for cash, but actually they're getting that heavyweight entrepreneur that's been there, done it, seen it, and got the metaphorical t-shirt, that can be worth so much more than the money and the doors they can open. So that's another massive piece of winning advice for taking equity into the business. Now, there's also roll up of interest. I've done this myself. What you could have, well, in the early days, I had sold some equity to grow my business. So say you got £1 million for half of your business, you got £1 million into the business, but then you need to go again. Your private equity investor, venture capitalist, they can lend you money and then roll up the interest, and they get their money when you exit and sell the business. So that can be a really good way of keeping cash in the business and just using your cash to grow the business and not have to worry about bank repayments. Also, when you sell some equity, you're spreading the risk. You've got other heavyweight people on in the business to grow your business. So there's some of the pros. Let's have a look at the cons. In my opinion, it's the dilution of ownership. I absolutely hate that idea. So I would not sell any equity unless I really had to, and I was in a real struggling position. So the dilution of ownership is something that I avoid at all costs. Control. You lose control of the business if you give up 20, 30, 40% of your business, and these investors might not have a majority ownership on paper, but they would have debentures over the business and covenants because they're putting their cash into the business. And trust me, these people know what they're doing. They may only own 20, 30, 40% of the business, but let me tell you now, they're smart cookies, and for all intensive purposes, they control the business, and they'll have that in all the legal paperwork. But the other thing is, at exit, they might sell your business now for 10 £10 million, but all that roll up of interest, they get all that back, plus their fees and all of this stuff. It's very expensive. You know, they've got management charges, big money around these people, but it can be very expensive. And also, they really do decide when you exit the business in most cases. This wouldn't be necessarily the case if you get a private investor that's investing 100 to maybe a million, 100,000 to £1 million into your business. But if you're going for private equity venture capitalists, they'll be looking to exit the business and they'll tell you when you're going to be exiting. And I think also there's no short secrets here. If you read the book How to Get Rich by Felix Dennis, one of my absolute corkers and favourites for entrepreneurs and business owners, he said in that book that he knew friends of his that felt under so much pressure when having venture capitalists and private equity involved that it stressed them out and aged them, and they were just so unhappy. But they did grow the business and make a lot of money, but they felt that their life was ruined. And I've heard multiple stories about that. Ooh, what's that? Oh, looks like a cheeky little plug. That's right, you knew what time it is. It's time for me to tell you about my Entrepreneurs University. It's this online training platform that I've created for entrepreneurs and business owners to seriously grow their business, from everything on getting customers and growing the profits in your business. How to get into this vaults of entrepreneurial success? You go to my website, jamessinclair.net, and you can help yourself to a 14-day free trial. Let's get back to the video. Let's look at the pros and cons now of debt, borrowing money from the bank. The cons are repayments. You're going to have to pay the money back. When you take in equity, you're selling shares and you're getting cash in and you're doing a roll up of interest. Well, the banks are going to want their capital paid back, the actual principal of the loan and the interest. So you're going to have repayments. You're going to have covenants from the bank, especially if you're borrowing big money. They're going to want to make sure that you're producing monthly accounts and that you're producing decent profits. I actually think it's a really good thing actually to have covenants from the bank, because it makes you really build a brilliant business. I think another con with a bank is it's slow to get things agreed. I think private equity and venture capitalists can move much faster. That's probably another big pro of theirs. But yeah, so slow to get things agreed. Let's have a look at the pros though. I think there's less stress with the bank over venture capital and equity debts if you've got controlling ownerships in the business. They don't take control over the business. I think that's a really good thing, unless it all goes wrong. But if it goes wrong, either way it's going to go wrong, and yeah, the bank will take control. You maintain 100% ownership. Now, the bank might have ownership over you via debentures and guarantees, but every month you're paying a bit more back to the bank and you're reducing that level. So I love that. And then when you do sell, you have a good liquidity date. So if you do sell your business and you make a lot of money from it, you pay the bank off, but that's all you're going to be paying off. You won't be paying a roll up of interest. And here's the other thing. Let's talk about interest. I mean, banks will be up to 4% of interest, 2, 3, 4% when they lend you money. Whereas when you look at private equity, venture capitalists and all these sorts of people, they're going to be looking for at least 10% returns and usually 20, 25% returns. So whilst you don't have to pay the money back as you're jogging along, that's all being rolled up on super high interest rates. Do you want to go for the slowly catchy monkey approach with a bank and go the organic route like I choose to do? Be under no illusion, I've borrowed millions of pounds and I want to borrow more of money from banks to grow my business, because I know I've got a tried, tested and proven model and I've got a great relationship with my bank, and really I want term finance for property, commercial property. Or do you go down the route where you can literally grow as fast as you can and have that speed to do that with the equity route? It's your decision. For me, it would always be the bank over private equity, but that's for you to decide. What do you think? Hit me in the comments below. I'll see you in the next video. Make sure you massage that like button and subscribe to the YouTube channel so I can help grow your business. Bye-bye.